You're scrolling Twitter at 2 a.m., watching AI write an entire app in 30 seconds, and you're thinking, why am I even learning to code? Here's what nobody's telling you. You're asking the wrong question. The real question isn't whether you should learn to code. It's whether you have what it takes to survive what coding has become in 2026. Right now, developers are the biggest users of AI. That's not ironic. That's the point. Over 94% of companies aren't using AI yet. Not because they don't want to, because they don't know how. And when they finally wake up and decide to join 2025, guess who they'll need? Not the AI. The person who can actually use it. The person who can read the garbage code it spits out and know why it won't scale past 10 users. AI is a calculator, not a mathematician. And if you don't understand the math, that calculator just made you dangerously confident in the wrong answer. But here's where it gets real. Learning to code in 2026 isn't what it was 5 years ago. The bar didn't just move, it went to the gym, hired a personal trainer, and now it's judging your form. If you're going to make it, you need to operate by a different set of rules. Not the motivational poster kind. The wake up and face reality kind. Rule number 1. You have to oh, I love this stuff. A few years ago, you could stumble into coding because you heard developers make 6 figures and work from a beach in Bali. That door is closed. The market got flooded. Competition got brutal. And now, the people getting hired aren't the ones chasing paychecks. They're the nerds who build Chrome extensions nobody asked for, who refactor their own projects just because the code felt messy, who read technical blogs on weekends because they genuinely find it interesting. If you don't feel that pull, if coding feels like homework instead of a puzzle you want to solve, you're going to burn out before you make it through tutorial hell. And trust me, tutorial hell is just the lobby. Rule 2. There are no shortcuts, only hard work. Yes, AI can write code. So can a parrot if you give it the right script. But AI can't build your understanding. It can't debug your logic. And it definitely can't explain to your future boss why the authentication system broke at 4 p.m. on Black Friday. You still have to put in the hours. You still have to understand CSS positioning, JavaScript closures, why async/await exists, and what the hell a dependency injection is. You have to write 1,000 lines of broken code. You have to spend 3 hours debugging something that ends up being a missing semicolon. You have to build projects that make you want to throw your laptop. That struggle isn't a bug. It's the feature. That's what builds the pattern recognition that will make you dangerous. Rule 3. Be specific and ruthlessly organized. I want to learn to code is a dream. A detailed week-by-week plan that says, Week 3. Build a REST API with authentication, deploy to Heroku, write documentation, is a strategy. Most people fail not because they're not smart enough. They fail because they're not specific enough. You need to map out your entire learning journey. Which course? Which sections? How many hours per day? What you'll build each week. When you'll apply for jobs. Rule 4. Put on your blinders. You will hear about a new framework, a better language, a faster path, a course with a 99% job guarantee. Ignore it. If you have a solid plan, you must execute it with the focus of someone defusing a bomb. Because that's essentially what you're doing. Defusing the bomb of distraction that kills most developers before they start. The person who follows one path for 9 months will lap the person who spends 9 months searching for the perfect path. There is no perfect path. Rule number 5. Your network is your net worth. You can't do this alone in a corner with your RGB keyboard and imposter syndrome. The uncomfortable truth? Most people don't get jobs by submitting applications into the void. They get them through people. You need to be active on Tech Twitter. Contribute to discussions. Help beginners with their bugs. Build in public. Share what you're learning. Even if it feels small. When it's time to job hunt, you want people saying, "Oh, I've seen their work," instead of your resume being PDF number 487. in a pile nobody will read. Rule number 6. You must confront your imposter syndrome. There will come a moment where you have to sell your skills, and it will feel like lying. You'll look at a job posting and think, who am I to apply for this? I just learned this 6 months ago. Real developers have CS degrees and built compilers in college. Here's what you need to understand. Everyone feels this way. The difference between people who make it and people who don't isn't talent. It's willingness to be uncomfortable. You have to apply anyway. You have to do the technical interview even though you might fail. You have to put your GitHub out there even though the code isn't perfect. Most people do all the work but quit at this final hurdle. They learn everything and then never shoot their shot. Don't be that person. Rule number 7. Mute the AI for now. You better do this. This is the most counterintuitive rule, and it's going to save your career. While you're learning, you need to turn off the AI. I know. It sounds insane. Like learning to drive without GPS. But here's why it matters. When you let AI solve every problem, you're building a foundation made of paper. The first time something breaks in production and there's no chatbot to save you, that foundation collapses. You need to wrestle with the code yourself. You need to read the error messages until you understand them. You need to break things and fix them manually. The reality check. You better do this. Learning to code in 2026 is still one of the most powerful career moves you can make. But it's not a hack. It's not a shortcut. It's not a 6-week boot camp to 6 figures. It's a marathon. It demands passion. It demands discipline. It demands putting yourself out there when everything in you says you're not ready. If you can embrace these rules, if you can love the craft, do the work, stay focused, build connections, face your fears, and learn deeply, you won't just be learning to code. You'll be building a foundation that makes you indispensable in an AI-driven world. If this video made you uncomfortable, good. That means you're paying attention. The way we learn to code is changing fast, and pretending AI doesn't exist won't protect your future. Understanding it will. If you want more honest conversations, practical strategies, and unfiltered truths about coding, careers, and AI, hit like so this message reaches more people who need to hear it. Share this with someone who's learning to code or thinking about it, and subscribe if you don't want to be left behind while the rules quietly change.